I am back with another episode, another video, the real one. You know what it is. It is currently a Friday, but it is 1:02 in the morning. Late night, man. It's a late night episode. And I am pretty drunk. I had a bunch of beers, but I come back before I record this video, and what do I see? If you guys are into the IWC like that, especially if you're like at least even fucking January, you would know a Twitter user, Piero Bucelato, and if you know Piero, obviously I do. I definitely did. He was a really good friend of mine, and I, as many, missed him. I miss him. And he came back. He came back right now for a little bit. He just put out a statement, and it's absolutely insane. But essentially, he fucking, he's essentially like, he's okay, but he might not come back. And unfortunately, that sucks. And I tried to get him to come back, and we'll see what happens. We're gonna stay positive. We're gonna try to get him back. But that's that. I'm just in shock because Piero was my boy, and he's leaving me with eye beast. So yeah, fuck out of here. Alright, so that said, because I had to get that off my chest, because that shit really it really blew me, it really shocked me. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. But anyways, here we go. This is your Aew Dynamite review, and man, what a show this fucking was. Of course, Aew Dynamite beat NXT. I mean, Jesus Christ, when do they not? I mean, NXT just gotta move to another night. They have to move to another night. They're just not cutting it, man. NXT is really doo-doo. It's not just doo-doo. It's just, I mean, look, everyone shits on me, AEW real one, but your boy Vince McMahon made me choose. He makes you choose because he made this war, AEW versus NXT, and now I fucking, I was like, alright, whatever, NXT, you enjoy both NXT and AEW, and while that's still pretty true, but at the same time, at 8 o'clock every Wednesday, it's still going to be either NXT or AEW, and I've chosen, since fucking October, Aew Dynamite. Aew Dynamite is the way to go. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. You can watch NXT on the fucking WWE network. Aew Dynamite is the best wrestling show on television. You see this picture right there. I chose this picture. I could have chosen Cody Rhodes coming back to AEW. I could have chosen a picture of Cody coming back, but you know what? This one is we've all seen Cody and shit. We don't need to see him, but this one is unique. This picture is unique. This was the ending to AEW Dynamite, but you know what? At the end of the day, this show is the best wrestling show on television, and you should be watching AEW. I don't give a fuck what anyone fucking says. They want to play both sides and shit. Vince McMahon made us choose a fucking side. So there you go. He made us choose a side when decided to put NXT on the USA Network because he didn't want AEW to succeed, and people would be like, "Oh, Vince McMahon is not worried." So why the fuck did he do that? The fuck out of here. He's worried about AEW, and I don't blame him. AEW is a problem. They're going to grow eventually. At some point, either NXT is going to get canceled or they're going to move to another night, dog. Because you're not competing with this shit. AEW fucking won again this week. They won. They fucking won. It was like, I don't even know, like 850K to like 600 something K. Dude, they ain't doing shit. AEW is winning this shit. AEW is the cool thing. Is the cool thing at this moment. I don't give a fuck. It's like, I'm explaining this shit on Twitter. It's get your friends and family onto this shit. People grow out of WWE because it's like childish. It's like it's childish shit. Like they're like fucking 12, and they're like, "Yo, I'm not watching WWE wrestling. This shit is fucking childish. I'm an adult now or some shit." Like, bro, put them onto AEW. This shit is fucking better. It's the cooler version. I mean, Jesus Christ. But yeah, so that's that. And unfortunately, I may have to rant again because the first match, unfortunately, is a match that wasn't supposed to happen, and I think it happened because of what happened early on in the day. So what happened early in the day was we found out like a couple hours before the show that unfortunately, and I send my condolences to Lance Archer, he got the coronavirus at home. At his own house. So he didn't get it at AEW, at any AEW tapings. He got it at the crib, at his own crib. So he got it. There was a report that a couple of the wrestlers, they got it. Or, they got the coronavirus, but that's due to the fact that, they just, one of the most extensive protocols when it comes to the coronavirus. And so I think, Lance Archer got it from the crib. And I think another report that Ben Carter himself, he's fucking fantastic talent. You're watching AEW Dynamite, AEW Late Night Dynamite, and he's putting on a fucking great show. And he should be signed to AEW, but that's another story. He says he's got the fucking coronavirus. I don't know how the fuck he got it, but it could be due to the fact that he got it at the crib, but, it has nothing to do with AEW, and so, Lance Archer definitely he said he got it from his house. So it has nothing to do with Dynamite. It has nothing to do with AEW. And Ben Carter actually said that AEW has the most extensive, strictest protocols when it comes to the coronavirus. And even if you don't feel good or whatever, you're not allowed in. You're not allowed in, so he's not allowed in, whatever, and a lot of the talent, like, I think it was Sean Ross Sapp and John Alba, they were reporting together, and, there were a lot of talent missing from the show this week, I believe, and they couldn't even make it into the taping. Not even taping, it was live. They couldn't even make it in, so, AEW has one of the most extensive. They care. They care about their talent that much that they're probably fucking testing almost every time that they go in and shit like that. And if you don't feel good or shit like that, you're not going in. And so, that's that. But Lance Archer couldn't make it, and so that fucked up the Will Hobbs, Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose, I'm fucking retarded. Jon Moxley and Darby Allin versus Lance Archer, Brian Cage, and Ricky Starks match. And I think a lot of people were looking forward to that match. But what replaced that match was Eddie Kingston versus Jon Moxley for the world title. The title was even on the line, and so this was announced before the show. And I mean, Jesus Christ, you would have thought, man, this fucked up a lot of things, but even with all that, it was still better. It was still good. And, it was fantastic, man. I think, the show was great, and AEW really, it deserves more viewers. It really does deserve more viewers, and that's why they fucking win every week. And, I don't know what else to say, but other than the fact that we're going to start with the shit. And the first match that was that I know for a fact started the fucking show was, oh my god. So Miro was supposed to, and he did. Miro was supposed to debut in ring on the show tonight. On Wednesday. And so I thought it was a singles match, but it did not. It turned out to be him and Kip Sabian versus Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. Now, this is going to be I don't know if I'm going to rant on this, but one of the only times the only time tonight that I'm going to fucking rant on AEW, because I cannot fucking stand this team. Alright, so here's why I cannot stand this fucking team. Let's start off with Joey Janela, because the other one is going to be a sensitive topic. Joey Janela is like Jon Moxley. Joey Janela I'm pretty sure he was in CZW. If not, he should have been. He's like a CZW dude, where he's a hardcore guy. He likes that shit. If you've seen him, he's like that dude that says, fuck this shit, and then he just jumps on shit. That's him. He's done it with him too, as a matter of fact. And that's Joey Janela. He's that hardcore type of guy. So, he's a hardcore dude. He does, he should be in fucking tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh my, he put thumbtacks on. He should be doing shit like this. No, he's in a tag team, which is not even fucking all that, with Sonny Kiss. Dude, you need to get this shit off television, bro. And if not, I mean, you know what? Just keep this shit on AEW Dark. Keep this on AEW Dark, man. You know what? I really like Joey Janela, but if you're gonna do this shit, just keep him on AEW Dark, man. I don't even understand. What the hell, man? You have him in a tag team with Sonny Kiss, bro. Sonny Kiss, man. Oh my god, and it's not even that. It's I like Darren Young. Remember Darren Young? He came out in WWE and he was gay and shit, but I'm cool with that, I like Darren Young, but Sonny Kiss is not it, man. You gotta stop with that shit, man. It's not working. Change his character, man. You gotta change, like, present him better. Like, I don't understand what this shit is, man. It sucks. He looks to be a good athlete, but it's just whatever he's doing right now is just not working. It does not work, and this match was pretty sloppy. I mean, Jesus Christ. I see what happened, and you know, I think he was who was it? Oh yeah, it was Joey Janela. He was in the crowd, and he fucking jumps on top of Miro, and it looks sloppy as shit, man. And so whatever, but obviously you know who won that match. Miro's debut with Kip Sabian is, you know, he was Miro was the best man to Sabian, and obviously Miro and Kip Sabian won. So, you know, that was the proper outcome, and that was that. Good thing he won. I don't know, man, what's gonna happen with this shit. I don't know, man. I kind of want Miro on his own, but this is how he is right now. I don't know. But we'll see where this shit takes us. I don't know if they're going to do an actual wedding on Aew Dynamite, but in the meantime, this is how it is. I hope he does more singles action and he's fucking like the serious guy, because obviously he's a fucking heel. I mean, I remember seeing him last night. He's like mocking the crowd, the wrestlers, because they were in the front row. So he looks to be a fucking heel. I don't know, but that was that, man. That was the opening. That was the opening contest, the opening shit. But you know what, man? Fucking, you gotta get rid of them, man. I mean, Jesus Christ. Put Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss, keep them on Dark, please. I mean, Jesus Christ. Jeez. Yeah, nah, that was fucking bad. And then you had, so then you had Eddie Kingston. He went into the ring, man. He went into the ring, and then things started to fucking pick up, because he went into the ring, he cut a promo, and oh my god, this promo made you ready for the main event. It made you like, okay, so people were saying, oh, this shit doesn't make sense. Why the fuck is Eddie Kingston getting a title opportunity? Well, this doesn't make sense, right? So look, honestly, even if it didn't make sense, AEW was in a bind. AEW, they just, I don't know when they found out, but before the show, like at like 3 o'clock Eastern time, Lance Archer announces that he tested positive for the coronavirus and he won't be there for the show. So he's in quarantine for the next 2 weeks and shit. So, but he should be good for the anniversary show, which he's gonna have the opportunity to fight Jon Moxley for the title. But he does that, and so they're doing their best to replace the match. And so they announced Eddie Kingston versus Jon Moxley for the world title, because Jon Moxley had tweeted out, you know what, F this, babe, I'm gonna defend my title. And so he did that, and then what do you know, Eddie Kingston versus Jon Moxley. Why? Now this makes sense. So you had Eddie Kingston's been saying that he was never eliminated from the Battle Royal. And what was the Casino Battle Royal? It was for the opportunity to fight for the AEW Championship, which Lance Archer won, the person who got the coronavirus. So what happens? They throw in Eddie Kingston for tonight. Well, not tonight, but Wednesday, Dynamite. And So he's the new challenger, and so it makes it, he's like, oh, I've never been thrown out of, I wasn't eliminated. So he gets his opportunity to shine. There's a story there. So he comes out to the ring and he's essentially talking mad shit about Jon Moxley. He's like, oh yeah, oh man, this is another one. He was throwing shade at Jon Moxley in WWE. He's like, oh, you decided to join the sports entertainers, and me, I was with the fighters, and I was with the street fighters and shit. And so I knew, the tears of the WWE fanboys, they'd be upset because AEW and Eddie Kingston, they threw a shot. And so he said that, and he's like, come on, sports entertainers, come on, sports entertainer. And so Jon Moxley comes out, and he comes face to face with Eddie Kingston, but the refs break it up. And that was essentially that segment. It was great. So then you had the next match, Evil Uno versus Hangman Page. You obviously know who wins that match, but Kenny Omega was on commentary, and they keep teasing this shit. At this point with AEW and how they are, they don't really do rematches like that, like WWE, where they fucking bang it into the ground and shit like that. And they kind of have long-term storytelling and shit. So what I'm saying for this thing, and I hope they do it, because kind of makes sense, because now we're heading into October. I think, what do we got now? We're on the 25th. Then, alright, whatever. We got the next episode is the 30th of September, and then after that you got the 7th and the 14th. And the 14th is AEW's, is going to be the 1 year anniversary, because it was originally I think it was the 2nd of October of last year, but the 2nd this year is on the Friday. And I think what happened was that now they're trying to compete with the NBA Finals, and so that's why they chose the 14th. And so that's the 14th, that's the anniversary edition. So you essentially have 3 weeks now. 3 weeks. So I would say you keep the 3 weeks, you keep this up, and you do what you do, whatever. You don't do anything with Hangman and Kenny Omega. You then have on the anniversary show whatever, Jon Moxley wins or whatever the fuck, and then you do what happened at the first show, but the opposite, where on the first show you had Kenny Omega, he won or whatever, and then you had Jon Moxley come from behind and shit. And so this time you have Kenny Omega from behind or whatever. That was the conspiracy theory, but it would be long-term story telling, and it would be awesome. I think it would be fucking great too. And so you would have that. He attacks Jon Moxley, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then so you have Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega at Full Gear, which again, would be another anniversary, because you had Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega in a lights out match at Full Gear. That was last year. Now this year, full circle, you have that. And you have Kenny Omega take the title off of Jon Moxley, and then you do your little title run with Kenny Omega. Should be a while, because that's AEW. And then what happens? It all comes for full circle. You finally have the feud, Hangman Page versus Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega. Hangman Page finally takes the title off of Kenny Omega. And that's how you end that's how you have that. That's how you end the feud. And that's how you have the next couple of champions. So there you go. There you fucking go. I think that, because honestly, Kenny Omega would make the most sense as the next champion. I think everyone would love that. I don't give a shit what the fuck anyone says after that. And then what do you have? Then you have the next future star. And who is the future star? One of the future stars is Kenny Omega. You know, obviously you have Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara. But as of right now, Hangman Page is one of the hottest fucking talent in the business. And so there you go. That's how you book it. That's how I'd fucking book it. Now, I don't know when you want to do that shit. When you want to have Hangman Page take the belt off of Kenny Omega whenever he has it. I don't know if they're going to do this, but it would make sense. And, you know, I don't know. So that's how I do it. Anyways, now you have Evil Uno versus Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega. Hangman Page. And obviously you know who won. Hangman Page. He did the buckshot lariat and he got the pinfall. There you fucking go. And you know, that's how I'd book it. So then you have Tony Schiavone. He's backstage and he talks with the Young Bucks. And so I think it was either last week or 2 weeks ago where, if you remember, Alex Marvez, he was one of the ring announcers. He was like a backstage interviewer. And he got super kicked in the face, but so Tony Schiavone, he remembered that. And so he was a bit hesitant to knock on the door. And so Matt Jackson opens the door and Tony Schiavone flinches. You know, makes sense. You know, they're using logic. And Matt says he knows he's been acting out of line lately and that they were trying to do better. He's hoping fans at home see that Matt and Nick have been going through a lot. They've lost title opportunities and even friendships. Tony wonders if they could repair things and also brings up FTR. Matt doesn't want to talk about FTR. Tony talks about FTR again. Matt wonders if Tony is trying to make him mad. He asked Tony if he could see his phone. Oh yeah. Tony hands it over and Matt smashes it against the wall. Matt then tosses it some cashes to Tony and goes back into his locker room. So I remember that shit. They broke the shit out of Tony Schiavone's phone, and that was a segment for that. We'll get to FTR in a couple minutes. And after that, yeah, Brody Lee versus Orange Cassidy. Oh man, Orange Cassidy, Jesus Christ. You're wondering, why the fuck did he get a title shot? Well, why did Orange Cassidy get a title shot? He's the fucking GOAT. That's why he got a title shot. There you go. So the GOAT got the title shot against Brody Lee. It was hilarious. That's at one point, Brody Lee's like trying to pick Orange Cassidy up for a lariat. I think it was like a lariat clothesline. But Orange Cassidy wouldn't stay up because obviously you know his character, so you know his gimmick, and he wouldn't stay up. And eventually, you know, with the Dark Order at ringside and no best friends for some odd reason, I don't understand why the best friends weren't at ringside. Numbers caught up to him, and Orange Cassidy lost, and Brody Lee won, for obvious reasons. Then you had the lights go off, and then all you heard was "oh," and what was that? That was Cody, and he returned. Right. So check this out. I know some guy on Twitter. He has like a blue verification checkmark. We follow each other. And he posted before the show, and I think I saw it before the yeah, I did see it before the show, so I was like wondering, oh shit, is Cody Rhodes gonna come back? And so, and I get the same text message too. So Cody had put his number out on Twitter, and people like myself, we texted Cody on that number. And on this thing, it had added Cody's contact into our, to our shit. So we get text messages from Cody. And so it's not a specific text message. It's a generic one. So, it's a mass text. And so in this text message, I guess there was like what the fuck is it called? You see the geographic ship. And it's from Jacksonville, Florida, where they're filming the show. And so this led to this user, this guy, he's like, oh shit, what the fuck? Is he gonna return tonight and shit? And what do you know? He did return that night. And so Cody, he comes back, and he got rid of the blonde hair, and he has dark hair now. And so, this led to the announcers being like, yo, is this like aggressive Cody? Or is this like, it's like, oh shit, it's like aggressive Cody. And so Cody Rhodes, he attacked Dark Order, he beat a couple of them up. But it's looking like Cody's gonna be heel, and I guess it's more not obvious, but it's more believable that he will in fact join FTR and Shawn Spears as a heel, new version of the Four Horsemen. So, but as of right now, he's still a babyface. He beat up Dark Order, so we'll see where that happens. So there you go. That was that Cody shit. The Cody segment, fucking wild shit. So then, what do you got there? There was a Matt Hardy. He made his way to the ring with Private Party. I don't even fucking remember or know why they were a thing to begin with, but I don't know. I love Private Party, but I don't know what this pairing is. But so Matt Hardy, he makes his way to the ring with Private Party, and he's cutting a promo where he's like, he's gonna get his revenge on Chris Jericho, this blah blah blah. Chris Jericho and the Inner Circle, they come out, guys. Chris Jericho, I took this man for granted. Before the list, he was fucking god-awful stale, bro. Chris Jericho was god-awful before the list in WWE. Chris Jericho was... he was just awful. He sucked. I didn't look forward to seeing him come back. And so... he rejuvenated his career with the list, and then he really fucking rejuvenated his career after he left WWE. He joined New Japan Pro Wrestling, and then AEW existed, and then he really started to fucking become really fucking amazing again. You could be like, wow, Chris Jericho is definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame for any fucking promotion. But... Chris Jericho, he comes out with the Inner Circle. I think he talks about, you put Sammy Guevara on the shelf, and God knows when he's gonna fucking come back, if he ever comes back. And he's like, oh, wait a fucking minute. Sammy Guevara is actually back. Oh, man. So, this was one of the best moments. This was a really great moment. And so what happened was, I thought that I don't know what the hell happened to Sammy Guevara, if he was in trouble with management, AEW, or what the hell happened to Sammy Guevara. And I don't know if he was selling what happened at All Out. I really didn't know. And so he comes out and he does his usual hug and shit with Chris Jericho, and it was great. And so he's like, all right, back to business, matters are on hand. And then so eventually Matt Hardy's like, yo, when what was he? He's like, when I'm healed, I'm coming after you. And then Mark Quinn, who's the better member of Private Party, I don't know what the hell is happening, but he's like, you know what, nah, I'm gonna take care of you. And then Isaiah Cassidy's like, nah, bro, when I'm gonna be taking care of Chris Jericho. And then so this leads to Chris Jericho versus Isaiah Cassidy next week. We'll see what the fuck happens there, but you know, in 2 weeks you're gonna get Chris Jericho. You're gonna get 30 years of Chris Jericho. It's gonna be his anniversary. Chris Jericho. It's gonna be great. If you're not watching that and the anniversary show, I don't even know what the fuck to say, because those two shows are gonna be great. It's gonna be absolutely great. So you had that, and then you had FTR with Tully Blanchard. So okay, so here we go. So I need to read this too, because this was confusing me. I had seen a Twitter user, because he knew I loved AEW and he knew I was watching, and he was confused as well, and he said he wasn't trying to be a smart ass, he was actually trying to learn. I didn't even know myself. So here we go. So they were in the ring with Tony Schiavone to explain 20 minutes with greatness. Stipulations with the champions is not it's not 20 minutes instead of 60 minutes. Totally hypes up, obviously, FTR, and so essentially what happened there was, it was I think FTR, they chose their opponents, and their opponents were SCU. And so what happened was, they're gonna show the fans the greatness of FTR against SCU in a 20-minute match. It doesn't matter who they face next. It could be best friends or anyone. And so this led to best friends coming out. Now, I thought it was like, okay, so the next feud is going to be FTR versus best friends. And I was like, once FTR surpasses SCU, they're going to go against best friends. And so, but then it started to be like, oh shit, we're going to fight right now. I'm like, oh wow, they're going to have a match right now. Nope, they were like, oh, you guys had a brutal match in that parking lot brawl. It's not fair to you guys. And so they're going to be feuding after this shit, after the match with SCU next week. And so that's going to be that. And I think Chuck Taylor had a real cringe promo, but I don't know, man. Obviously, I think everyone knows that Trent is the guy, is better than Chuck, and obviously of the group, Orange Cassidy is the man. But between the two, it's Trent Beretta, but he goes by Trent. So then you had Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida versus Ivelisse and Diamante. Now, this one, I'm surprised that AEW is even still doing business with Diamante. Now, I don't think Diamante has been officially announced as All Elite she's with AEW, but if she's not, I don't know what the fuck is happening. Now, there was I don't know who reported it. I think it was Fightful and Sean Ross, where there were actual blows, and since it was pre-taped, they edited like a fight out or some shit, and so you saw not Diamante, you saw Evil East no-selling moves from Thunder Rosa, and so this led to there being shots from Thunder Rosa to Evil East that were stiff and this and that, and so I'm shocked that this even fucking happened. But now I don't know, man, but this match still happened, and it was right before the main event, and Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa won. There you go. That was obvious. So then you had, oh my god, I think you had we go backstage, and Dasha Fuentes, but she's like Dasha something in AEW, and she's with Chris Jericho, and they're talking about Isaiah Cassidy. And then what happens? MJF, he comes into the frame, and they just battle. They sent like MJF and Chris Jericho are gold. One of the one of the top guys on the mic in AEW. One of the top, excluding Eddie Kingston and shit. MJF and Chris Jericho. Now, this really, how do I say, boosts my theory about MJF joining the Inner Circle, because he said that he wanted to join a faction, he wanted to join a team, he no longer wanted to be a singles guy. He wanted people to have his back now. And so my thing would be that he's joining the Inner Circle, because now during this promo they eventually get along, and they're getting along, and so they join each other, and MJF would be using Chris Jericho in the Inner Circle, and that's that. He'd be using them to his advantage, and then they have a fucking meltdown, and that's that. But that would be that, and because that would make more sense as to why Chris Jericho and MJF are having segments together. Otherwise, I don't know why the fuck they're having segments together. I mean, they're gold, but what is the end goal? What is the end game? I don't understand. But that would make sense now, and so I'm glad they did that. So now I'm like, oh shit, my theory, because I said this like last week or 2 weeks ago, and so now it's oh shit, could be happening. So that was that. And the segment, it was great. And then you had not Chris Jericho, wow. You had Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. You know what happened in that match, because you still got Jon Moxley versus Lance Archer for the title on the anniversary show. And so they protected Eddie Kingston by having Jon Moxley put him in a sleeper hold move, and Eddie Kingston never tapped out, so he could be like, yo, I never tapped out, what the fuck? And so there you go. And then after that, you had the Lucha Bros, who were, they're obviously with Eddie Kingston, and so I guess with the new report, Butcher and Blade, they're one of the tag teams that got, they're sick, or they got the coronavirus. And so you had the Lucha Bros, they're attacking Jon Moxley. And then you had Will Hobbs. Oh my god, dude, this guy Will Hobbs, man. If they're putting Will Hobbs in the main event, and they have that segment and shit, I like this kid. man. Just like Ben Carter, Will Hobbs, man, he's impressive. And so you have him coming out in the main event, and so they're treating him well, and he does an impressive spine buster, and then he's doing fucking punches and shit. But then, who else was it? Then you had Ricky Starks and Taz come out, and they're beating the shit out of them. And then you had Darby Allin come out, but the numbers advantage were too strong, and so this is the picture that you see right now. Pentagon, Phoenix, Ricky Starks, Taz, and Phoenix. That's the image that you're fucking seeing right now. And this was a chaotic but great way to end the show. And this is why AEW is on top. This is why I watch AEW every single Wednesday. This is exactly why. One of the best wrestling show on television. And no one will tell me otherwise. No one will tell me otherwise. So there you go. That was how the show ended. And then next week you got a couple good matches, and let me see if I can see this shit. I mean, show's great. But so there you go. That was your AEW Dynamite review. If you like what you see, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends, family, this and that.